All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Liquidation Live with myself, Liquidation OH, and Dan from Liquidation Pros. I have linked his channel down below. Make sure you give it a subscribe because we do alternate back and forth every week, Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, we'll be talking about just general question and answer on liquidation, what we've sold for the week, what we've bought, what our plans are as summer comes, but we'll get into it here shortly. Dan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I think most of you guys have seen me before on Chris's channel or over on my channel. My name is Dan. I run a side resale business, buying liquidation and selling it on eBay and Amazon, sometimes locally. Family man, full-time job, and just trying to do it all, I guess you could say, and start my little YouTube channel and just enjoy hanging out and sharing my journey with everyone.
Yeah, so for all the new people, I mean, I'm full-time as a full-time day job, and you're full-time day job as well, but you also have people that help you out. So why don't you touch a little into that if you want to? Kind of.
Yeah, so I basically have a full-time corporate position that I got it worked out to where I can do 410. So I work Monday through Thursday there. And then on the evenings, not every evening, but most evenings, I put in an hour or two, maybe 3 or 4 hours. And then like Fridays and Saturdays, I'm pretty much all day, sometimes day and night, working on the resale business. So normally I'm doing around 20 to 30 hours a week on the resale business. And then I have 2 part-time helpers and then another guy that's kind of on call if I get a big load in. He's more for muscle and help me unload or whatever. But my 2 helpers and also a VA, the 2 helpers work around, I'd say probably around 10 to 15 hours a week. And then the VA works around 10 hours a week as well, give or take. So, and I have four children. The oldest is getting ready to turn 8, and all the way down to a baby to just getting ready to turn 1. So, a lot going on.
Keeps you busy, right? I mean,
sure.
And for those of you in the chat as well, we will do the drawing later on in the show. For those of you that entered, if you haven't entered on last night's YouTube video on my channel, hit a comment over there and we'll do a drawing off that. But yeah, Dan, I was watching you and watch another channel. I saw you had a comment about business versus hobby and scaling, right? So the amount of volume you have coming in versus what you can do. Having help definitely helps out, right? Because you can take in more volume, you can get more out of yourself and others at that point.
Yeah, that kind of, for me, it's kind of hits home for me, that topic, because a lot of people are real big on, are you full-time or part-time? When anyone's talking about reselling, it's like, oh, that's the first question. Are you full-time or part-time? And to me, I look at it as a little bit different. I look at it as I'm trying to build a business that I can, only put 10 or 20% of my time into, that I can have other people run and manage for me. I'm not quite there yet, but I would pretty much guarantee most of the people that, we know in the YouTube community that are full-time, I would do more in sales. Not that I'm bragging or anything, but I don't do it full-time. I choose to hire help. That if you count the help's time and my time, it would be like full-time. So the people that are out there grinding it as a full-time, we would probably be equal as far as hours go if you count what I pay for my help. But to me, a lot of the tasks that are very tedious, like listing and photographing, to me, that's not worth my time. Like if I could pay someone 12 or 10 or 15 bucks an hour to do that, my time is worth 30 or 50 bucks an hour. So why would I, unless you really enjoy it, I don't think you should be doing that kind of stuff, in my opinion. But that's coming from a management background and understanding how to teach people tasks and keep them on task. So that's kind of where I come from.
And I think a lot of it too, you can utilize that help and focus on other things, right? So if you have people help taking pictures of certain things, for example, clothing, you can concentrate on your liquidation on your pallets. You can potentially receive more product and focus on something else, and still have the other side or other portion of your business still running.
It's a lot easier to juggle a couple different, products or tests or different things that are coming in when you have help. Also, you know, you can get rid of the death piles pretty quick if you want to. If you have, you know, 2 people that want to work 20 or 30 hours, and that stuff goes quick. And more of what I want to focus on is making the good buys, doing the back end tracking, you know, all that stuff. So that's what I enjoy. I enjoy finding the deals. I enjoy negotiating with the dealers, or the bidding process for some of these sites that we bid on. You know, I do enjoy like the garage sale and yard sale season, which is just now getting started here in Maryland, but I don't have, to me, a lot of times that's not even worth my time. Let me get my camera fixed real quick, but
and yeah, those guys in the chat, or the people in the chat, ask away if you have questions. Maybe put some question marks in front of them, or tag one of our names with the at symbol. But Dan, you receive a lot of pallets, and do you ever do small lots anymore, or you strictly look for pallets now?
No, I still do small lots. I try to buy like high-end small lots now, though, just to trying to keep my average sale price up over $25. I'd like to get it up over 30, but right now that's about where it's at. I just actually launched a video today on my channel from one of my wholesalers that they have a major multi-$10 million Amazon business that they pretty much deal with every major brand. And this is like one of the, going back to, I told in previous videos, like a cold call that I made to the company, got in with them, and now I'm buying some of their returns. But just to give you an example, that was it was like 130 Zag brand iPad Air, iPad Mini like cases, all new so like open box, but basically new condition. There was like another 30 or 50 Mophie charging cases, which were as is, untested. And then some other, these called like baby bands headphones. I don't know if you've seen them. They're not headphones, but they're like noise cancellation. And then they have Bluetooth to where you can play like what you would play for your baby, like through your phone, like through the app, like a sound machine. So if you would take them to like a concert, or you want to try to get them to go to sleep while you're out in public, you can put the headphones on. A bunch of those as well.
So Pac-Man has a question. What point did you realize you had to outsource your help?
When I couldn't keep up with what I had to, you know, I enjoyed getting the product, but then when I realized it was really, you know, piling up, really when I knew that I wanted to grow it into an actual business. And then I would say when I got to the point also where I was kind of like dreading creating the listings and photographing and all that stuff, that was one of the main keys for me, is like when you sit there and say, oh, this sucks, I gotta list 100 items today, or not even 50 items, whatever it could be. If you have that mentality, it might be time to start thinking about, you know, should I pay somebody to do this part of the job so I can do the things that I enjoy?
I mean, what I did, and I did this mentally, and you can write it down. Write down what you don't like doing, right? What you don't like listing, you don't like taking pictures, you don't like testing stuff. And then also write down how long each of those things takes you. So for example, I found my biggest time suck was cutting the tags off items, taking pictures, creating the titles, and I didn't do measurements. So I'm able to take that portion, and I save so much time not doing that anymore. I can not only focus looking for product online, but I can then focus my efforts on the liquidation boxes that I haven't gone through. So reevaluating the time that takes you to do certain things, you can then focus on other items and grow that side, and on the same level, grow the other side of your business exponentially.
Yeah, and I would say if you have someone, if you could think of like a family friend, a niece, a nephew, a child, anyone that you can start to kind of, even if they're just doing like peeling labels or putting labels on Amazon, bagging stuff, anything to kind of get someone in the groove, and you get in the practice of like telling people what to do. Like that would be your first step if you're thinking about it. I started with family friends, and now I still have the same family friend, one of my good buddy's daughter, and then 2 neighbors that also, well, one neighbor helps regular, and the other neighbor is kind of on call.
FatManTheFlipper, thanks for the $10 super chat. I appreciate it. Says Chris and Dan, thanks for stopping by. extremely sick, so I'm get some rest. Hope you all have a great night. Yeah, thanks again, FatManTheFlipper. If you guys aren't subbed to FatManTheFlipper, head over to his YouTube and Instagram. He has some great content. I love some of the stuff he finds. So head over there. Again, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, and just to touch on being sick, I apologize for the past 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I was extremely sick, like the fat man there. I had gotten terrible cold and then followed up by a sinus infection. So my voice and all that was pretty much shot. I was not trying to go on live. And then last week, Thursday, me and my wife celebrated our 10-year anniversary. So I was out of town for that.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Congrats on the anniversary.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Pac-Man, did you hire help or family helping now? So what's interesting is my mom, when she comes to visit, she helps list. So I have her taking pictures, and I actually list of the stuff that she takes. So I stream stuff from the phone back to the computer. So as she takes pictures, I can seamlessly list items. I actually started with a friend helping out. So to Dan's point, start with someone you know. Maybe throw it out there. Say, hey, would you mind helping me out? Maybe it's something you can make some extra money on the side. I think it's a lot easier if you start with someone you know versus someone who has no idea. You don't know their skill set. They don't know you. So I would say definitely start with someone you know if you can.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, a lot of it too is for a lot of us, we're doing it out of our house. I run the majority of my business out of my basement. I know you do as well. Some people are doing it out of their garage. It's kind of hard to hire someone randomly to come work out of your personal residence. So it's always good if you do know someone. You know, it kind of breaks the ice for one, but then also makes you feel a little bit more comfortable about knowing that they're in your house. In your personal space.
If you do go for help, basically assume that they don't know anything. So for example, I started making a document and I went on Google Docs and I wrote out exactly what to do with things I do, and I can share it with whoever wants it. Let me know basically what to do with the item, right? What to look for, what to take pictures of, what not to do. So, you know, on thrifted items, they have that little color tag, you know, write down cut color tag, but you don't want them cutting the brand new tag, right? The tag that comes from the store that has the price on it, the $70 price tag. You don't want them cutting that. So you have to think, okay, the person I'm asking to help me, they know nothing. They don't know how to use the computer. They don't know how to use the internet. You want to basically put every step down there and then refine it as they're doing things. Refine it and learn. Oh, they didn't put this in the title. Make sure you go and edit that document. So as you grow and ask more people to help you out, that document can then be used for multiple people.
Right. And you can always have them, at least the way I do it is I have them doing like save drafts, so I can go back and just do a quick scroll through and make sure everything looks in line with, you know, what I'm expecting it to be. I've caught a few minor errors. For instance, like a North Face coat that was brand new. They're supposed to be listed for $149.99, listed for $49.99. But through that process of just scanning through, I picked that up pretty quickly, just looking at the overview of the listing without even clicking on it. And I was able to go in and edit that. So you will, you know, everyone's going to make mistakes. I'm sure even as doing it yourself, you make mistakes, but you just can't be too hard on them and know that they're learning. It's really not hard to teach someone how to list on eBay. There's a lot of VAs out there that already have the experience. So I was luckily able to find a good VA that has already spent years doing this for other people. So that was kind of nice. But I remember my first helper teaching her how to do it. We went through like 3 listings together, and then she was just doing it on her own after that. Like minor stuff or questions here and there, but it wasn't like I had to sit down with her for a week. It was just a couple hours. Most kids these days are, you know, they know computers, they know technology. You show them something like that and they can pick it up pretty quickly.
And you can even local school, high schooler, college near to you, put an ad out there, have them meet you with the product. You can exchange product that way and work through Google Sheets and basically just have them fill out the sheets, and you can actually see them filling it out as they do it. DG Picker, good info, boys. Tons of knowledge here. A cheap beer. Thanks, DG Picker. Appreciate it for the super chat.
That's like 4 beers for me, DG Picker.
Karen Henderson, thank you as well. Thanks for all that you do. Appreciate it. I see her a lot on Instagram. So if you're not subbed to Dan and myself's Instagram, head over there. Dan actually posted a picture of this pallet he got in there, which was awesome.
Yep, I got a couple more that I ordered yesterday. Actually, got to go pay for tomorrow. So 3 pallets coming from Woot. So Woot is like, they started as like a daily discount site. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with them, but Amazon bought them out a few years back. And now they're still kind of doing the same thing, but they're also running a lot of Amazon's liquidation products. So they're
like the Groupon of products, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking, so the stuff I bought is supposedly new condition. So we'll see. This is kind of a test buy for me, but I'm thinking the way they do it is they buy several hundred of a certain product, or at least they claim stake to a certain quantity, and then whatever doesn't sell, they just liquidate. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it's going to be mixed like shelf pools from any random Amazon. It seems like there's a lot of quantity, and I don't know if anyone in the chat has dealt with them, but this will be my first time. I do plan to do some YouTube videos, and I'll share, in our weekly hangouts as I do with all the stuff. So,
how do you pay your help, per item or hourly?
Everyone's paid hourly for me. I mean, it's hourly contract. So basically, for listing, it's remote. They use their own computer or whatever. I do have computers here, but you got to be careful. Talk to your CPA and whoever you need to take any kind of business advice from. But people will say different things. Mine basically said you give them the option if they, give them the option to work remotely or at your home, and then you can basically pay them as a contract employee. But most contract employees aren't supposed to be paid hourly, so you'd have to make your own decision when it comes to that. But that's the way I do it.
I do it by the item. If you're going to do either one way or the other, just kind of evaluate. I would say for the hour, I don't pay hourly, but if I were to pay hourly, I would evaluate how much time I think they're taking versus how much time my product's worth. At least for me, at the per item level, I kind of bake that into my cost, right? So let's say I'm paying the person $1 an item. Does that work in terms of my profit? Am I okay with taking $9 versus $10 on profit? And is that work into my model? So make sure it fits into your buy costs and your profit at the end of the day.
Yeah, at one point I had it figured out on my end. It was about, on average, $1.50 to $2 an item to prep and photograph and list. I haven't updated that since people have gotten pay raises and stuff, but it should be somewhere around there. So that's another reason I'm trying to find these higher dollar items, $25 plus, because, you don't want to pay an extra $2 on top of all the eBay and PayPal fees and shipping on a $10 item. It doesn't make sense. So we do a lot of bundling. Like, I'll find really good popular items to sell for $8 to $10, but we'll do like a 3-pack or a 5-pack, 2-pack, whatever makes sense, depending on the item.
Yeah.
And then a lot of stuff we could do just, in bulk through either flea market, yard sale, or every once in a while I'll do like bulk lots through Instagram. So.
And I mean, I don't know about you, Dan, but I cherry pick my items. So if it's something that's a simple one picture and it's, one line, I'm not going to have someone else do that. If it's something complicated where there's certain steps, that's where I'm going to pay for it. You just evaluate which items you give, because it'll break into your profit at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much pay for them to do everything. So only eBay listings I really do are like relisting or changing quantities. Other than that, I let them take care of it all.
And I can't tell you how beneficial it's been to clearing up my piles and keep being more organized, creating a process now. So for example, when I get stuff back, I know I take that stuff and I hang it up. I don't have to touch it again anymore. So as you develop a process, it definitely can streamline what you're doing and get more listings up there.
And honestly, if you're the type of person where you're looking for perfection, it's probably not going to be the thing for you. Like, I go by the model: is it good enough? Am I going to, provide a good product? Is it going to describe, or are we going to be able to describe what the customer is getting fairly and put it at a reasonable price. But then also not spend too much time with that whole process, because that's eating into your bottom line. So I try to teach them to get it perfect, but really in the back of my mind, I'm saying, is it good enough? I'm not going to go in there and change a whole lot of titles if I think it will sell the way it is.
And that's a great point. That's something you kind of have to let go of when you're doing that. For me, if I'm doing it myself, I take pictures without wrinkles. I keep it to show every picture angle that I can. When these pictures come in, if there's some wrinkles in it, if it's not as close as it should be, to Dan's point, is that good enough? And is the item going to sell at that point? Most likely, yes. Very rarely do I go in and have to adjust it, but to scale that, I just let it be, right?
Yep.
As long as it's good.
I have a bunch of templates for listings, so it's like when they create the title in the description, it will basically say you are getting one of, and it's just a copy and paste to the title. And then the condition I have conditions for each, brand new, open box, very good, good, acceptable. So then they're just copying and pasting that in underneath in the description. So it literally says what it is and then what the condition description is. There's no extra, this is for this model. There's no extra details like that. You're not like, I feel like when most people are going to eBay, they already know what they're looking to buy. They're just going there because they're looking to get it for a cheaper price than Amazon or a little bit better deal. There are some people that are bargain shop, but I don't know about you. It's really hard to just randomly search for a good deal. Or if you go into eBay and not having any idea what you're looking for, you're probably not going to find anything. It's so unorganized. There's so much stuff. It's kind of overwhelming. Whereas Amazon does have that a little bit more laid out a little bit better with the product pages. So, there's one page for that specific item and then all the sellers on there, as opposed to 200 sellers with different listings. So right. I go with the model that, my eBay buyers hopefully searching the UPC or a very specific keyword search in the title. And then I'm going to happen to be the best match or very competitive with pricing. Most cases I'm best, like within the top 3 on best match. And that's going to be the key to getting more sales.
Someone had a question. Do you use a steamer?
We have one. I have used it. We don't use it a ton. I don't buy a lot of like used clothing. Most of the stuff we buy is like shelf pulls, new, some of it will be wrinkled, but it depends on if it's a super expensive, $100 plus item, definitely. But most of the time it's going to be new other or used like new. So I'm not going to take the time to do it because they're going to probably launder it anyway.
I don't have a steamer at all. I don't mess with wrinkles. I keep it as real as possible. I minimize what I can, but I think was it Borderline Horse said time management is key. I agree with what is good enough. Far too many people spend too much time researching. Yeah, you can kill yourself with researching prices. You can get down a rabbit hole really fast. Know what you sell. At least for me, I know what the value of my polo shirts are. I know the value of my jerseys. So it keeps my listing to a minimum. I know most of my polo shirts are going to be $30. Most of my jerseys are probably going to be around 70, 75. Liquidation is a little different. If I'm getting all these random liquidation items, I could get into a time suck of researching prices.
Well, and it does, if you're doing like vintage and one-off items, it's going to take you a lot longer than probably what me and Chris are capable of doing, just because a lot of times we're getting a manifest. We already have an idea of what the items are we're getting. We can search that manifest for either UPC, the ASIN, a couple different things on there. So it's a little bit, we're a little bit more prepared than just going to, say, a barn sale or auction or something like that and buying a couple boxes of random vintage items. Those are going to take a while to look up. 90% of my stuff normally has the UPC or a tag of some sort on it. So that's just a business model I'm choosing because it's easier to have help take care of that. If I was to come home with a truckload of just random auction stuff, I could see that being pretty difficult for someone new to be able to, with no experience, to be able to process and list.
John, Nevermore Antiques, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. If you're not subbed to Nevermore, head over there and give him a sub. He actually just opened his thrift store, and I wasn't able to watch his video today.
Antique store.
Antique store, that's right. It's really cool what he's doing. So head over there and check him out. But I appreciate the super chat, John.
Yeah, I'm gonna send a bunch of stuff to him to put on consignment. See how it goes.
There you go. Yeah. And what's really cool is his upstairs is as big as his downstairs, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately down the road, that's something that I would like to have. A similar setup as that is what I kind of picture. Doing like a liquidation storefront up top and then eBay downstairs, Amazon, whatever. But
yeah,
you know, you got to count that overhead, and for me, it's normally 10x. So if it's $1,000 bill, then that's another, you know, what is that? Another 10,000 in sales for that month.
Right, for $1,000 in rent. Right, what do you now have to pull in and sell?
It's basically another 100,000 a year to cover that.
Right.
So
Vikings mother had a question. What do you sell? What kind of merch?
I sell small electronics. I mean, I sell pretty much anything I can make money on, but not a whole lot of antique or vintage. Basically, electronics, clothing, sporting goods, all the stuff that I kind of like and I have a decent knowledge about. It's kind of where I started. I kind of started buying stuff I knew about and then just expanded from there. Right now, it's a little bit of health and beauty as well. So if you go and check out my channel, I do some pretty large scale unboxing videos, and you'll kind of get a gauge of what I'm getting.
So when you're looking, first thing I have for you is when you're looking for stuff, at least liquidation wise, are you looking for stuff with large, I'm going to say single item, a lot of sizes, or are you looking for a whole gamut, a large spectrum of stuff?
Right now I'm looking at like the top 5, top 10 items. I'm hoping that there's there are large amounts of multi-quantity. So I actually have my list up from Woot right now. Let me see what this is. So like for instance, are you familiar with the Omron brand of blood pressure testers?
Yeah, those things sell really well.
They're like $35 to $50 depending on the model. So this supposedly has 56 of the same exact model brand new. And they're $40 a piece according to the manifest. So that right there is over $2,000 in one item. Tommy Tippy, there's a bunch of like baby bottles and stuff, all brand new according to the thing. Franklin Sports tennis table, the miniature set. There's 45 of those, and they go for about 17 to $20 a piece on Amazon. Wow. So I'm looking to touch on your point. I'm looking for like top selling items at the top of the list that have a lot of quantity. And then I'm going to base the rest of it around that. So it's kind of like I'll grade the lot, and then I can pay a little bit more if I know there's a couple really good items in there that there's a lot of. Same thing with clothing. I do that with clothing. Like if there's a lot of North Face coats in a winter lot, I'm going to be willing to pay more than, say, 20% for that lot because of the brand that's in there.
Now, when you're looking for stuff, do you have keywords you search, or do you just go out there and peruse and say, I like that?
So online, I have about 10 different liquidation sites I check, if not every day, every other day. And I just peruse and look through and try to see if anything jumps out at me. And then typically you have the manifest in there. You can do further research. So that's that. And then maybe like once a week I'll scan Craigslist because every once in a while I still find good deals in there of like going out of business or someone just randomly has a huge lot of, for instance, the DJ equipment that I got. That was just a couple weeks ago. We're selling that off pretty good right now.
You sell through that yet?
What's that?
You sell through all that, the DJ equipment?
I actually am getting ready to push the button to just list another like 30 items of it. I had a bunch of drafts. I had to test a bunch of the open box mixers, so I was waiting on that, and then it's kind of like when you have that kind of stuff, you get a big load of something else, it kind of has to get pushed to the side so I can take care of what's in my way and then get back to it. So even today, not all of it's listed yet, but I've already made close to $800 back from that $2,000 investment. So it's looking like it's like,
what's the buy price?
It was $2,000. And it's going to be probably going to end up being around 7,000 to 8,000 in sales. So it's a typical double your money type of deal, which is what my minimum normally. So if I'm investing $2,000, I need to make sure I'm profit after everything, at least $2,000.
Right.
With liquidation.
So on that point as well, when you're searching liquidation online, are you searching seasonality or are you searching for best buys at that point?
I'm just scanning what's available. Some of these sites that I look at only have 10 or 20 lots. It's not like liquidation.com. It can be overwhelming. There could be 100 of them. You know, normally I'll go into the subcategories and narrow that down. But season, like right now, if you can buy and stock up on winter coats, that might be a good buy right now. I've already done that. I think I ended up with about 5 pallets of winter apparel. So that's all in storage. And towards the end of summer, you'll see me and probably videos and stuff of me bagging or sending off a shit ton of North Face coats, Marmont, Patagonia. But I've already purchased that. It's just waiting for the right season. So
you will buy ahead and put it away.
Yeah. So I paid 25 cents on the dollar on average for that stuff. And I'll get the full dollar back in the middle of winter.
Yep. So, and that stuff, when you're buying that, do you, so it sounds like you're doing a lot with the big companies. Do you ever go in and say, hey, if you knock 10% off, I'll take all of it? Do you ever do that?
I do with some of my smaller, not with the bigger companies. A lot of these are auctions that I'm dealing with. I mean, most people know B-Stock. You can check them out. Auction sites you can buy through. But you're not able to negotiate there. It's strictly bidding. And then some of my local guy that's up in Jersey, that's just like every other week or every 3 weeks, he'll just shoot me an email and say, hey, I got a huge lot of Zag products all tested, ready to go. And he'll send me the list and say, make your best offer. He has about 3 guys he deals with. So I have to be kind of strategic with how I price because he's throwing it out to 2 other guys. And if I go too low, I could potentially lose that deal. So on that, like those Zag cases, I ended up paying about a third of what the eBay value is, not the MSRP.
Right.
And the eBay value is like 40% less than MSRP.
Mm-hmm.
So
I try to buy at least seasonality wise or sports teams. I try and stick ahead. So now I'm trying to buy football stuff because we're coming into NFL season. As well as to your point on buying sweatshirts and jackets, I do have probably a good deal on the table for sweatshirts. So I'm kind of weighing that out possibility. Now, when you're buying ahead, you got to say, okay, if I don't sell this, if I have to hold it until winter, can I do that?
Yeah, you have to have a bankroll to be able to do that. It takes, now I'm on my 5th year of doing this, so it takes a little while. I couldn't have done that 2 or 3 years ago, but now I am able to do that. I can spend $5,000 and sit on it for a year if I need to. I'm sitting on more than that right now. So
looks like you have 2 questions. How was your experience with B-Stock? Thinking of buying from them.
So that's what I was just mentioning. I've had 1 or 2 issues, but for the most part, the Macy's lot that I did, that was through them. I have a video on that. They shorted me like, what was it, 8 or 11 of the highest price items. But the cool thing about that is I actually took video of me taking it off of the Macy's loading dock, like pulling the boxes. And I think there's supposed to be 24 boxes. And when I went back and watched the video, there was only 23. So I literally had proof that they shorted me the box. And it would have been, based on the size of the item, the box itself would not have fit on that pallet. So I feel like it was 1 pallet of product, but there should have been another box next to it that went with it that they just forgot to give me. But it was like an $80 item, and there's 11 of them. So it's like that really hurt me. But they basically paid me back my percentage that I paid for that per item. So if I got the lot for like 20%, in that case, I got whatever, around $20 back. Not quite.
Great. So when I buy stuff, I get quantities and I say I'll buy all of it. And usually on your invoice, it'll tell you how many quantity you purchased of each item. I make sure to count it all. I've been shorted. Usually if I say, hey, I was shorted a polo shirt, they'll credit my next invoice, whatever my quantity cost was. Did you sell cosmetics?
Yes, I do. Cosmetics, perfume, a lot of like ladies HBA stuff. It's just very fast selling. So what I can get. I used to get a lot of cosmetic type stuff through liquidation.com. I don't as much. My only issue with that is like it's too much. That was more so when it was me processing all the product. Now I'm trying to get product that my help can process. So it's hard to get 200 random health and beauty items that they have no idea what it is or how to, double check everything, make sure it's authentic, all that good stuff. So I'm trying to buy, like, for me, clothing is like the bread and butter for new clothing for help. They can, just give it a quick double check the tag, fold it up, and re-poly bag it. So, and for the most part, it's coming like case packed, like a lot of them folded up in one box. So it's not like it's even hit the storeroom. A lot of North Face jackets and stuff I had were like in bags ready to go, but I had to rebag them because they put stickers on them that you couldn't peel off the poly bag.
I've thought about doing cosmetics, but I was iffy about either brands and or expiration dates.
Yep. Both very important.
Kevin Collins, good to see you in the chat. Says when I would buy from B Stock, I had to wire money. Ended up getting pretty expensive after a while.
Yeah, I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Let's see.
30. I think my bank's 32 or $35 a wire.
Yeah. What's that? What's it like? 25 to 45, depending on what you do it through. Yep. How are your sales this week?
I was doing really well until today was kind of slow, but similar to you, I'd seen a really nice increase Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday wasn't bad. I had a sale going over the weekend, so that I think that was helping. But then I had very similar sales even after the sale ended on Monday and Tuesday, like 10 to 15 eBay items, which is pretty good for this time of year. Overall, eBay is down for me, but not too concerned about it. I think in general the platform's down, so that's playing a factor. But I'm up on Amazon, so it kind of levels out. And I'm literally like right where I should be to hit my sales goal. So,
yeah.
But as much work as we're doing on eBay, and the fact that I have probably, I don't know, 200 to 300 more listings than I did last year, and another 10 to 20 grand listed, I feel like I'm like right now I'm sitting 30% lower than this time a year ago.
Interesting.
For this month, yeah. So,
what was your bet?
I'm wondering too. A lot of people, and I've listened to some podcasts and stuff about this, but the tax stuff, people aren't getting as much money back in taxes as they had been this time years prior. So I'm thinking that may have an effect on people's spending habits right now, and they're kind of getting over that slump of, oh man, I didn't get back what I wanted to, and now they're back to their normal paycheck and starting to spend money again. But who knows?
Yeah, the ebbs and flows, right?
Yep. How'd you end up, or do you list all your shoes, or are you still working on that?
I think I probably have 10 pairs left.
That's pretty good.
I have all pictures of them. I have titles. I just haven't done it. I've been getting too much other product coming in, so that's kind of been taken. I've got all the most expensive pairs up. Like, for example, I have a pair of Dylan Fry women's like loafers. Someone actually offered me $35, and I have them listed for $90. They're brand new.
They should be probably around 70 or 80, right? So yeah, because I have some Fry. I had a couple pairs of Fry.
Yeah, but I mean the shoe. I don't know if I do it again, just because it's so slow moving, and I tend to hold out for my prices. I think I've sold 3 pairs so far, 3 or 4 pairs. Definitely slow moving for me.
And going back to ASD, how many suppliers are you dealing with from the last time you went out there?
1, 2 to 3 right now.
Okay, so that was a pretty good trip for you then.
Pretty heavy on 2 of them. So I'm trying to stock up for them on football. So what I try to do is I try to keep in constant contact. I ask for their spreadsheets if they have them. Actually, 3. One supplier doesn't have spreadsheets, so I have to ask exactly what I want. And I have to remember what was on their shelf, which is kind of annoying.
Do they have like a website where you can peruse pictures or anything?
They have nothing.
Do they have like they don't even have like a list, like an Excel doc of, they have to have an inventory sheet somewhere.
No, they don't.
Wow.
It's highly aggravating because they say, oh, the warehouses or the inventories in another building. So I had to send them a picture of what I ordered, and I said I want the rest of these. But yeah, they say we have so much inventory, it's too hard to keep track of. I'm like, all right, but they have good prices, so I can't argue with them.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
it's like you have to make your order when you're there, and now next time I'm gonna have to order a ton more to compensate for that.
Yeah, I got my sample order from the paintball company in, so I'm actually working on that tomorrow. I've been putting it on the back burner, but it's a lot of it's going straight to Amazon, brand new, ready to go. So be curious to see how that goes. But that was complete opposite from what you were just describing. They sent a list of like, I don't know, it was like 2,000 products that they carry.
Yeah.
First, it was like 400 initially for closeout, and then I just confirmed with the guy. So, well, can I sell your regular line as well? And he's like, here, yeah, I'll send you that list too. And that was like 2,000 products. So pretty intensive to go through.
Yeah. So though the other end of the spectrum, well, the manufacturer, they actually send out what stuff they're running. So they'll print T-shirts and hats, and they'll say, hey, we have this, we're running, get your orders in by Monday. So that's nice. I don't have to do anything. They basically tell me what product's coming out as a manufacturer, and then another wholesaler, they keep spreadsheets of their stuff. So what I do is I know I want hats and I know I want jerseys. I go through them, I just research.
Yeah. I think Tommy Bernard was asking what we do for promoted listings. I run everything on promoted at 1.5%. So I just a little bit to get me up there in case there's, but I feel like I'm already paying enough to eBay, and maybe that's part of my sales slacking as well. Maybe I need to bump that up, but it's just kind of, that's eating into your bottom line once again, that I'm already working on fairly slim margins. So I hear of some people doing like 5 or 10%. To me, that's just crazy.
So if the trending rate's 5% on that item that you have, you're only putting 1.5%.
Right.
So I was watching another person, I think it was John's channel, Scott, the bearded picker's friend.
Oh yeah.
You do the +1.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So what I was doing is some of my, like, I have Dallas Stars hats that I bought 3 ASD shows ago. I think I sold 1. So some of the stuff that I have stale inventory on, I'm testing that out. So I put it on, I want to say it was like 9%. So it works out to be like $2 or $3. I haven't had any hits on those yet. So I'm just testing to see if that actually works on old inventory. Some of my newer stuff, I don't use promoted at all unless it's old.
So I just pulled mine up. I have my entire store, 824 listings promoted. In the past 31 days, I got 1.9 million impressions, 5,000 clicks, 77 sold, and it cost me $27 for 1,800 in sales. So here's the difference in what I'm doing and what you're doing is we're selling branded products that people are looking for. My promoted listing is just bumping me up in that search that a couple other people are selling the same item. If you just type in, like going back to you were saying about bearded picker's buddy John, yeah, if you're just typing in motorcycle flag, you need to have a high promoted listing to get to the top of the search for that keyword. But if someone's typing in his brand and a certain model of flag that they want to buy, there's no need for promoted listings for one, because no one else can sell his products. But he's promoting based on a grand scale of a keyword search. I'm promoting based on trying to get a bump up on my competition for people that are already searching Mophie iPhone 7 Plus case. I want mine to show up higher on that search, not like what would you call it, a charging pack or whatever you want, external charging packs. Like the general keyword search, I'm not worried about that for promoted. I'm worried about like when there's 30 people that have the same product, I want to bump up a little bit higher. And it seems, I mean, like I said, it seems to be working, but.
And I think with the, was it Premium Store, I think I get a $30 credit on promoted listings of stuff that sells.
Yeah, I think you do as well.
So I only have 52,000 impressions. Out of my 1,800 listings, I only have 42 promoted. So that's lower end of the spectrum compared to you.
Yeah. So you're only promoting 42 items?
Yeah. Now, I've only promoted stale items. And to your point, I think I have my Todd Gurley shirts that I'm competing with like 100 other people, and my Vegas stuff. Now that they're knocked out, I promoted them. I want to get my stuff up to the top.
So, I mean, it just depends on what your business model is and what you're, understanding what each thing does and who you're trying to reach. Like, I'm mainly trying to reach my buyers through best match. So I'm doing, top rated seller, offering free shipping, 60-day free returns. And that's going to rank me up a little bit higher. But if they search by lowest price, I'm probably going to be a little bit further down the list.
Right.
And then sales for me are big. Normally at least twice a month I'm running some sort of sale. And what I'll do is anything older than 6 months, I'll normally run either 20 or 30% off, depending on the weekend. And then as it's getting outside of a month, when it's normally the first month, I don't touch it as far as sales go. But then I'll do stuff that's, say, 2 to 6 months at 20% off, and then 6 months plus at 30. And then over a year old at Christmas time, if it hasn't sold after Christmas, I'll mark it like 50% off. And if it's still sitting there, then I'll decide what to do with it. Because normally at 50% off after shipping and everything, I'm not going to make too much money anyway. So maybe it's better for a different platform or selling locally or just getting rid of.
Right. You have any shipments coming in this week?
This week, like I said, yesterday I got the that wholesale order of Zag and Mophie. It'll be next week for most likely for the Woot. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Nothing else this week.
I had a set of hats come in. Hats I've already shown some of my Blue Jackets hats, and then I'm supposed to get some more of my NASCAR hats. I have not gotten those yet, and I'm waiting to place that order. I'm toying with the idea of doing it. I don't know if I should do it, so I'm second guessing myself.
Yeah, we could talk after this. I can take a look and see.
Yeah.
See what I would let you know what I would do anyway.
It looks like Tommy and Rebecca resets their promoted either 24 or 48 hours. Kenman's picking up 18 pallets. Holy crap. Kenman, what location you picking up? Is that Vegas or Plainfield?
How many pallets?
18.
Damn.
That's a lot of legwork, 18 pallets.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to 3 pallets, so that's going to be.
I have Plainfield. I haven't been to Plainfield. I'm still trying. I think I have 3 boxes left to go through of my liquidation. I'm waiting for my garage sale. I think we're gonna have one soon. I'm gonna get rid of a lot of stuff for $1. Now that's where I think a store would work, right? You have your dollar section. You can just get through. Think about furniture stuff you can get a liquidation. Stuff that's maybe missing a knob, missing a screw. You can put it together, fix it up. It's a lot of work, but that's, I think, where a store would help.
Yeah, definitely the low dollar amount stuff. Just from my experience with like the yard sales or flea market, you do really well with that stuff.
Yeah. That's where I think the garage sale comes in. I mean, I make anywhere from $300 to $500 on a garage sale day. I tend to save up a lot of my liquidation stuff, the low end stuff that doesn't work well on eBay. And, you're making $1 to $3 an item. That adds up pretty quickly when you're only paying $200 to $300 on a lot, and you've already made your money on the good stuff on eBay.
And going back to some of my numbers too, and like my concerns with eBay. Last year we really grinded it out, and I had a lot more time helping. I know. Basically, I said if I could do what I did last year, I would be happy. That's pretty much going to be max for what my operation is, and doing it part-time. So I'm basing it more off the fact that, I have more listed right now and a higher dollar amount in my eBay store. But it's also could be also like we did list a lot of jackets and stuff. So as we were going through some of those coats that I was talking about, if it was an eBay item, I just went ahead and listed it now, even though it won't sell till wintertime. So I do also have to keep that in mind, that I do probably have product in there that's, though it looks like I have a lot listed, it's really not going to sell till next season.
Right. I list everything. I list everything from coats to shorts, no matter the season. I don't know if that's a fault or not, because I know you store some stuff away. I list everything I have.
Well, basically what I have stored away is mostly Amazon.
Okay.
So I'm not going to send that to the warehouse right now with the race to the bottom, I'd rather wait till, send it in around early November.
Pat bought four pallets of books 2 weeks ago, and he's sick of books already.
Yeah, I've never done that. It's one thing.
That'd be a lot of work. I think.
Yeah, and, Tommy, I sell a couple coats every week. I'm not saying you can't sell coats. I'm just saying to get at least the top dollar that I want to get. If a retail North Face coat's $199, you're probably gonna have a hard time getting $199 on eBay or Amazon right now. But if you put that same coat up in November, December around the holidays, you might even get more than that. You might get $250. So.
Yeah, and just be careful. I mean, with hoodies and jackets, at least on eBay, with shipping, you're at least going to be a padded flat rate if you can even get it in there. So, or regional A would work. Just beware of your shipping on those things.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're coming up to an hour. Anything else?
I don't think I had anything. Do we have any other questions, or we cover everything?
Unless this coats year round.
No, I think I'm good. It was a good show. Thank you guys. Thanks, Chris, for having me on.
Yeah.
Glad to see everybody in the chat again. See you, and I'll stay on the line. We can chat shortly afterwards. But
yeah, let me.
Thanks for having me, and just keep finding those deals, getting that stuff listed. The biggest piece of advice I can give you if you're kind of stuck is maybe look into hiring help, like we talked about earlier, because that's kind of what took me to the next level.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, yeah, if you guys have questions, we'll do the giveaway here. I'll share my screen.
Oh, that's right. We got to do that as well.
But if you guys have questions, reach out either in the Facebook group, message Dan or myself. We'll be glad to help out. All right. So for those of you that stuck around, for those of you that commented from the video last night, we do this every month. We give away a liquidation.com code. If you do win, I will need your liquidation.com username, and I will need your choice of what you want to pick. I believe it's $20 off auction price, 10% off auction price, or I think it's $40, $30 or $40 off shipping. If you're going to buy a small lot, I'd recommend the shipping discount. And I think it's good for a month. If you win and you need help looking at lots, reach out and we'll help you out. So let me flip over here. I got my YouTube picker going. Share my screen. All right. Oops. Wrong button. I'm always afraid I'm going to end it when I share my screen.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know when you can see it.
All right. I can see it on my end, so I'm sure they'll see it here in a second.
All right. So if you want to go see Kevin O'Leary in Cincinnati on May 9th, go for it. All right. So here's the comments. I'm going to click Get YouTube Comments. Here we go. There's 23 entries. Ready for a winner. Another Kevin O'Leary.
Oh, I saw Ken Coleman. Joey, who's it going to be?
Oh, flipping particles. Not sure I want to win, but I'm game. Laugh out loud. All right, D. Well, you're the winner. If you want it, let me know. If you don't, we'll do a redraw. That is up to you. So, D, congratulations. I'm sure I'll see you on your show tomorrow at noon. We'll let you know. Otherwise, we'll redraw if you don't want it. But good job on winning. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. As always, sub to Dan's channel. We'll most likely be there next week.
Thanks, guys. See you.